Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Golden Gloves Chat Show. I'm Brian Mitchell, with me Phumlani Msibi, my fellow Supersport commentator. Welcome Phumlani Msibi, and then of course the CEO of Golden Gloves, Mr. Rodney Berman. Would you like to be COO or CEO? Rodney, welcome. We're going to talk about the big show coming up on the 19th of December, the next big show, December Detonation is what we're calling it. Fantastic bouts. We're busy putting the tournament together at the moment. Rodney, we're going to talk about all your fighters. Let me ask the first question before I ask my other special guest, Phumlani, to chip in and ask some questions for us. Let's talk. Fantastic show. Well done. The first show of the year at the Empress Palace on the 10th of October. I thought it was a great success. What is it like for you as the promoter without an audience? Obviously, that financially must be tough for you.
It's very, very difficult. Sorry, incidentally, we are dubbing December the 19th December Demolition. Because that is what it's going to be. Promoting has become very, very tough. You know, it's all very well when you're on the other side of the fence, but when you're sitting here, people don't really appreciate the problems. First of all, we are duty bound. I owe it to Supersport, I owe it to Empress Palace. They're the two entities that keep professional boxing going in South Africa. So whatever the financial problems are, Golden Gloves will maintain the standard that they always have. Having said that, we do not have a live audience, which for Golden Gloves is a very big loss of income. The eco-isolation is very, very expensive, feeding many people 3 meals a day for something like 8 to 10 days. Then the COVID requirements are also very, very onerous. So despite, which cuts our revenue drastically, and it makes things very, very difficult.
Rod, okay, so you've answered that question. It's tough for you as a promoter, obviously, paying all the bills with every promoter, but obviously no income. We're looking at now 19 December, Empress Palace. Do you think there'll be possibly a small crowd by then?
Indications are no, and of course I'm not qualified to talk, but there's a resurgence of COVID around the world. It looks like there's always a second wave, so we are very pessimistic on that. And the other, we'll go through all these fights, and I appreciate the two, because you two are the experts, and we'll go through the potential fights and what they mean, but the priority is Kevin Lerena. I'm going to have a few knockers. There's one particular troll in the Cape who's obsessed with his jealousy of Golden Gloves. But the reality for South African boxing is Kevin Lerena has been mandated to fight Jai Opetaia of Australia for either the mandatory position in the IBF, or if Breedis moves up to heavyweight, as he's indicated he will, we will have that fight for the World IBF Cruiserweight title. And don't forget that he still holds the IBO title, which is very important to us. So that is the absolute priority because of what it means to South African boxing. And in December, it will have to be a keep busy fight for Lerena, given what's in store. So that is the priority on the ball.
I really want to just jump in now that you've mentioned cruiserweight, heavyweights. I've seen that there's a new division as well now. You know, what's your thoughts around that? What opportunities do you think lie then ahead for the boxers within your division?
Well, you know, Phumlani, we were discussing it earlier. A guy like the greatest, Muhammad Ali, who to me is the greatest, not one of his fights was ever fought higher than the new division that they're now bringing in. He never weighed in more. Not one of his opponents ever weighed in more than the new weight division. So for guys like Lerena, who openly battled to make the cruiserweight limit, Lerena's a very well-built guy, and Akani Fuzi, I think he would fall more or less at some stage into the same category. It opens up a lot of doors for them. I think it's going to be a fantastic innovation. There's going to be a lot of guys that say no, but one of my bugbears with Kevin, for example, is who said he consistently wants to go up to heavyweight. My thing is, you can't really put him in with a Tyson Fury or a Wilder.
Oh yeah, that would be.
You know, 120 pounds heavier. So I think it's a great weight division.
Yeah, it would definitely suit Kevin Lerena at 102 kilograms.
But I want to talk about the criticism then, because Rodney alludes to it. You know, we can leave him out of this.
Okay.
When they say you giving Kevin these easy fights, it's a catch-22 situation. How do you then do it? Do you say, no, let's not fight until we get our opportunity at the IBF title? How do you do it?
No, exactly, Phumlani. That's what the audience has to understand, and the boxing knockers, that Kevin is on the verge of fighting for an IBF title against a guy called Opitai from Australia. But you got to keep him busy. I mean, we've had the lockdown for 8 months. The poor guy hasn't fought the whole year like the rest of the planet. The guys are not fighting. So you need to give him a fight. He needs to fight by December. Kevin Lerena, the IBO champion of the world. And that'll be the build-up to the IBF title fight next year. So, you know.
I'm saying opportunities like that then, Rodney. You know, we're talking IBF. It's not just for Kevin. It's for boxing on the continent as well.
Listen, let me just say something. I don't care about knockers and trolls. My priority is, he was a fighter of mine. He knows. My priority has always been my fighter. What is best for my fighter. These guys are not coming to lend the money when they finish their career. And don't forget, Nkunu has now been mandated to fight Duradola in the WBC for the mandatory in that. So it's very, very exciting for South African boxing. And I foresee, despite the fact that it's Smith brothers, I foresee an Nkunu Lerena fight down the line. Please God, for a unification.
That would be nice.
So for all that, that is why Lerena is definite. And we then have another 5 or 6 outstanding fights. But because of the financial restraints, I can't put them all on. I would love to. We're going to have to take 2 or 3 of these outstanding fights and put it on the under.
Well, let's talk about those fights, right? Yeah. So you've got the guys lined up for December that are penciled in as a guy like Rourke Knapp and Simon Gludler.
We'll go through the fights by...
Yeah. Ricardo Malajika, Jabulani Mackenzie, Okani Puzi. I'm just talking opponents now. Rowan Campbell, Rainer Liebenberg, and then, of course, Kevin Lerena. They're all penciled in to fight in December. They can't all fight. So obviously we need to narrow that down. We'd like the viewers to give us their opinion as well.
Yes, but we can go through each particular fight.
Yes.
You've just mentioned the one fighter,
yes,
but there's actually fights that have been agreed to. Let's just start with no particular order. Ricardo Malajika, who I consider one of our most exciting young prospects. He's been penciled in to fight Phumlani, help me, I can't pronounce his surname.
Yeah, Rofhiwane Mushungwa.
Mushungwa.
Yes. Now, that would be for the Pan-African title. It's a terrific little fight. You guys know it will be a fan-friendly fight.
Sure.
That is the one fight. The next fight would be, which has been long already promoted, and that is Rowan Campbell, again for the Pan-African, and the IBO All-Africa fight against Rainer Liebenberg, which another incredibly fan-friendly fight. And then we've got the other semi-final of the cruiserweight tournament. That's Akani Fuzi, who I see as one of our outstanding young prospects. I'm hoping that I can do a deal with Alan Tawil, and that the two of them would come under the Golden Gloves banner. And it's also great that that Tawil name, which was a great name in South African boxing, is carrying on. And he's penciled in to fight Johnny Muller, another fantastic fan-friendly fight. We've got Rourke Knapp
against Simon
Gludler for the IBO Youth World Title. Another incredible fan-friendly fight. And then Jabulani Mackenzie, another outstanding young prospect, to fight
Kuveso Katemba,
the guy that lost a very credible fight to Mbengi on Saturday night. So we're sitting with those fights. As Phumlani or you mentioned, it would be great to have the fans coming in to Phumlani's
Instagram page.
Phumlani's not Instagram.
Twitter?
Phumlani's Twitter.
Yeah.
Yours
He's the
and
Twitter
Jeff
man on the
Ellis's
Instagram man.
Instagram account.
And Facebook.
And let's see who they would like to see on the ball. But it's actually tragic that I have to leave anybody
I was
off.
about to say that, I mean, the bill that I have here is you'd want to see on that particular night all of them fighting.
Now, if there wasn't this COVID restriction and I had a live gate, and I didn't have this ECAS, I would work a point to have them all on, but it's just regrettably impossible.
Okay. The idea, Rodney, just quickly, Johnny Akane, it's a fan-friendly fight, yes, but if you're a promoter, aren't you running some risks? Because, you know, I always think, why do you do that particular fight? I'm looking at this fight thinking, it's not a foregone conclusion what the result is going to be. Certain things from the trainers will have to change in preparing for the fight, because upsets do happen in boxing.
Well, first of all, I've got to go with a fight in any case. The reason being that it is a tournament that was promoted. There is a big purse at the end of the day for the winner, and it's got to go. But you know, Phumlani, what I've found, and I was a victim, like anybody else as a young promoter, where you think that a loss is the end of the world. But I travelled around the world to see Holyfield. Sugar Ray Leonard was my absolute favourite. Fights like that, it's like you're the big soccer man. Man United play Liverpool, and there's a winner. They're both going on. They're both great.
And Pussy does need to go to the next level now at this fight.
The same with the boxers.
Semi-final.
When you find two boxers, outstanding young boxers, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But if they have the talent, they both go on.
I'm saying Johnny is one of those fighters who can bring the best out of him.
Yes, he'll bring the best out of people. Well, you know, I'm speaking on behalf of Golden Gloves. I mean, Rodney's the promoter, but we do want to see the best fights in the country now as well. And the best guys must fight each other. That's what it's all about. The guys are complaining that there hasn't been enough tournaments.
Otherwise, boxing won't survive.
Boxing won't survive. Yeah. So we need to give the fans the best value for money, and Supersport will bring you the best action as well. We need to see the best fights from Golden Gloves and from Supersport.
So maybe then in terms of the fans out there, it's important then they get in touch with us to say, you know, is this one of those fights that they definitely would love to see on the bill, because there's that talk that not all of these fighters can get to fight. So if you look at Liebenberg against Campbell Bryan, maybe you and I, from the start of Campbell's career, we were there ringside, that he's growing up to a level, because Liebenberg went to the highest level, that now Campbell is the man who comes to fight him now in this fight.
Yeah, well, like Liebenberg says, that Campbell's out of his division when he fights him now. But, you know, boxing is like that. Liebenberg's kind of coming to the end of his career, and Campbell is in the height of his career. So that's what makes it an interesting fight. You've got lots of experience. You've got a good fighter in Reiner Liebenberg, fighting a young fighter in Rowan Campbell that's coming to his...
Well, let me tell you, again, I believe every fighter has the fight that lifts him from ordinary to great. You had Tony Lopez. That's what you had. Sugar Boy Malinga had Nigel Benn. And so now those were very risk fights, but they went in there and they proved their greatness. And that's how you do prove your greatness.
Yeah, well, a fantastic tournament, Rod, on the 19th of December. So it'd be interesting to see. Good luck with that, which fighters are going to make the bill. And you can send me to my Instagram page and to Phumlani on Twitter who you'd like to see
and
make
Jeff
the bill.
Ellis as well, who's got a...
Jeff Ellis on the Golden Gloves website.
And I'd love to hear from the fans. It is going to be fan-friendly. We're putting on what I believe is the cream of South African boxing. And let's see what the fans want.
Okay, but quickly, before we go, let's talk a little bit more about Mackenzie then. You know, what do you think the future holds for him? Not overlooking the fight that he has now, what roadmap are you guys taking as his promoters? Well,
let me tell you with all of them, it's very interesting, because I don't want to mention the television station yet, but an substantial American television network is taking this tournament live. What these boxers don't appreciate, when I say appreciate, no, they don't understand. They are going to be showcased to millions of people, hundreds of thousands in America. They do not have a better opportunity to make themselves known to the American public. You know, you have one opportunity to make a first great impression, and this might be it. Larina particularly, with this new division. Well, all of them. It's not
Yeah, let me quickly go through the bill again, right, so we can let the viewers know. Simon Gladler against Rourke Knapp. This is penciled in. This is what we'd like from you to tell us as well, who you'd like to stay in the bill. Rofiwa Neshuma, pronounce it fast, please. Nemashungwa. Ricardo Malajika. Kuvesa Katemba versus Jabulani McKenzie, Johnny Miller, Akani Puzi, Reina Liebenberg, Rowan Campbell, and of course Kevin Larina against an opponent to be announced. Tell us who you'd like to see on the bill. Rodney, last word from our promoter from Golden Gloves,
well,
Rodney Berman.
Just to finish what we were talking earlier, you've got Lebo Mashatoa. He fought Keaton Gomes. Now, he went into a fight, a very difficult fight. He proved just how good he is. All of a sudden, he's risen from obscurity, and I see quite big things for him. But he beat somebody he wasn't expected to beat, or it was 50-50. This is the point of putting in the best against the best.
For sure. Last word from you, Phumlani Msibi.
Okay, it's always exciting, but again, I want to go back and understand the financials around it and all the requirements for COVID-19 regulations. Credit must be given to the organizers of the previous tournament, the one that we were at Empress Palace just now, because they did everything by the book. I've never gone into a venue and just showed myself and, you know, you have accreditation, you walk in. That time, they had screen you, take your temperature and everything. So everything was done according to the book, according to the guidelines provided by the government. That's what the promoters did. So it's a little bit sad for me to know that at some stage, certain fighters will have to be pulled out of the bill because of that which we are facing as a country.
Phumlani, just to add, whoever has to be pulled off, I have the undertaking, I'll put them on in our February show. If they obviously can get a fight in between, I wouldn't stand in their way.
Thank you very much for watching. I'm Brian Mitchell, Phumlani Msibi. Thank you for being a wonderful guest. The CEO of South African Boxing Golden Gloves, Mr. Rodney Berman, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.